A few years ago, I had the opportunity to visit Minnetonka Cave in Idaho. If you've ever been inside a deep cave, you know how incredible it is. Towering rock formations, cool, damp air, and an eerie silence. But what I remember most vividly is when our guide turned off all the lights. Total darkness. Not just the kind of darkness where your eyes need to adjust. I mean absolute pitch blackness. I held my hand right in front of my face and I couldn't see it. I waved it. Nothing. Then the guide did something powerful. He struck a single match. That tiny flame, it changed everything. One spark was enough to light the space around us, to make the shadows dance on the walls, to reveal what had been hidden in the darkness. And in that moment, I realized leadership is just like that spark. It doesn't take a massive flame. It doesn't require a floodlight. It starts small with one decision, one action, one moment of courage. For years, I searched for a way to create lasting change in my personal life, in business, and leadership. I had big goals, but like so many people, I struggled to maintain momentum. Then one simple idea changed everything. I started streaking. No, not that kind. The kind that gets you arrested, but the discipline of small, consistent actions done every day that transform everything. As I uncovered streaking, I realized something profound. Leadership isn't a one-time event. It is a streak. It's not about making a grand speech or a single heroic act. It's about showing up every single day. One of the most powerful examples of this comes from a woman named Sister Zeff. In Gujranwala, Pakistan, a young girl named Rifat Arif was denied an education because of her background. Opportunities were scarce, and most people in her community accepted this reality as unchangeable. But Sister Zeff saw the darkness and decided to strike a match. At just 13 years old, she started teaching one girl every day. That was her streak. One lesson, one student, every single day. She had no classrooms, no resources, just a belief that education could change lives. Over time, this small daily act of teaching grew into a movement. Today, Zephaniah Women's Education and Empowerment Foundation provides free education and vocational training to hundreds of girls and women. Did she start out as a leader? No. Did she have a grand vision from day one? No. She simply started streaking, showing up every day to add value. And that streak changed lives. Every great leader, whether it's Sister Zeff, a CEO, or a teacher, begins with three things. One, a need. They recognize something must change. Two, a decision. They choose to act. And three, a streak. They take consistent, intentional action that inspires others. Sister Zeff didn't wait for permission. She saw a need, made a decision, and started a daily streak of leadership that continues to grow today. And here's what I've learned. That same leadership spark is in all of us. Here's the problem. Too many of us believe that we're not leaders because we don't have the title. We say, I'm just one person. What difference can I make? The truth, every leader starts as one person. A teacher who stays late to help a struggling student, leader. A colleague who encourages someone to keep going, leader. A parent who models integrity and consistency, leader. Leadership doesn't require power. It requires persistence. It requires streaking. Think back to a time when something bothered you deeply. Not just an inconvenience, but a frustration that stuck with you. Maybe it was a broken system at work, an unfair situation in your community, or a friend struggling with a challenge no one else seemed to notice. That feeling, the tug in your gut that whispers, this needs to change, is where leadership begins. The best leaders don't start out trying to change the world. They start by noticing a need and deciding to do something about it. There are 3 steps to start your leadership journey. Step number 1, find what moves you. A great leader doesn't wake up one morning and say, "Today I'll change lives." Instead, they start by paying attention to what bothers them. For Sister Zeff, it was the lack of education for girls in her community. For me, it was the realization that momentum doesn't come from setting big goals. It comes from daily intentional action. So ask yourself, what frustrates you? What do you wish were different? Maybe it's seeing a teammate overlooked at work. Maybe it's watching talented people hold themselves back because of fear. Maybe it's something as simple as knowing that someone somewhere needs encouragement. Whatever it is, that's where your leadership starts. Step number 2, start a leadership streak. Leadership isn't a one-time act. It's not about a single heroic moment. It's about showing up every single day in small ways that matter. Think of one action you can take daily that aligns with the change you want to see. It could be as simple as asking one person how they're doing and actually listening. Recognizing someone's effort, a colleague, a friend, a family member, and saying thank you. Writing down one idea every day, a thought, an insight, a way to improve something around you. At first, it might feel too small to matter. But let me tell you from experience, small actions done consistently create massive impact over time. Because here's the thing. Streaking isn't what about you accomplish in one day. It's about who you become over time. The longer you keep a streak alive, the more momentum you build. And finally, step number 3, pass the flame. When that cave guide in Minnetonka struck a match, it didn't just let him see, it let all of us see. That's what leadership does. True leaders don't just shine for themselves, they ignite others. They create a ripple effect, a chain reaction of courage, confidence, and action. Think about it. Who in your life needs encouragement? Who can you help rise? Sometimes all it takes is one word of belief, one moment of saying, "I see something in you." Maybe it's a teammate doubting themselves. Maybe it's a student, a friend, or a family member who just needs someone to tell them they matter. The best leaders don't just lead. They spark leadership in others. So here's your leadership challenge. Right now, think about one area of your life where you see a need. It could be at work, in your community, or in your home now. Decide on one small action you will take every day for the next 30 days. Not next year, not next week, tomorrow. Because leadership isn't about waiting. It's about streaking. I'll leave you with this. The world doesn't need more people waiting for leadership. The world needs you, your streak, your action, your consistency. So go out there, strike the match, start the streak, light the way, because leadership isn't about position. It isn't about power. It's about choosing to act every single day. And when you do, watch how the fire spreads. Thank you.